nice. It had a lot of good reasons why, and the things we already know in our hearts, like, you know, as thought-provoking as the curriculum may be, when the voice of the student is de-emphasized or forgotten, the learning suffers. So, you know, it really talks about how you can meet the needs of the students and meet the curriculum goals at the same time. So it was a nice article.
And this article, I thought was very interesting. It's talking about setting up or establishing learning targets in the classroom. And rather than being very, very specific, they kind of say at one point you leave the target somewhat general so that it allows you to differentiate what each student is doing. If you get too specific, some students may not be able to reach that particular target. So it's all about establishing the learning target and how to use that so that the different students can still reach the target. This is something I found online, and I just thought it was a nice overview to differentiating instruction in mathematics classrooms. This is kind of a little bit of an overview of what to do. It's very general, but if you have no clue whatsoever, it might be helpful.
And when we got together to talk about this, you know, planning for differentiation, we realized that, you know, a lot of us know how to do it. On some level, we know that we need more time and more resources, and since we can't give you more time, we decided to focus on resources. So we have a capture sheet. Laura just ran out to make a couple more copies, and then we're going to go over. The front side of the capture sheet are some resources that we found were helpful when we were finding student resources, and on the back were resources that we found were helpful for the students to use. So.
And while we're waiting, I just wanted to quickly mention, we think about differentiation a lot of times on what the students can do when they're doing their independent work, different levels of things to do, but I wanted to stress the importance of differentiating during whole group and small group also, and realizing that our students all have different learning styles. So it's hard, but try to incorporate as much as you can into the whole group lessons in terms of add a video clip, add pictures and diagrams, as well as a written explanation, put any sound clips. Even think about giving the students something they can be either taking notes on while you're doing it or trying things out while you're doing it so the kinesthetic learners can be actively doing something. Just to get everybody involved to the best ability.
Thank you. Perfect timing. So this
I'm a loser, so I had to make it one-sided. Sorry.
So we have highlighted a few different resources. I'll let Laura talk about YouTube because she has a different way of using YouTube than a lot of us go there to find videos for our kids and songs and brain breaks and stuff. But when Carl, Laura, and I got together to talk about this, we actually taught each other some things too. So I'll go ahead and jump in. There's Super Teacher Worksheets and Teachers Pay Teachers are two great places to go and get some resources for your students. Super Teacher Worksheets does cost money. There's not as many free things. If you've never been to Teachers Pay Teachers, there's a ton of free things on there. Laura and I both use math journals from Teachers Pay Teachers, and we're going to pass them around. We've used them a little bit differently, but it is a way that we differentiate in our math classrooms. My math journal, you'll see, is just a stapled together little book. It is a station where I go over the journal at the after the whole group lesson. I go over the journal page that they'll be working on, and it is a station. It's the station right before they come to me. So they bring it with them when they come to me, and we correct it. It's the first thing we do before we start whatever it is we're focused on. We'll go, because it's always a review, so it's something they've done before. And Laura does hers a little bit differently.
Right. I do mine a little bit differently. We were so excited when second grade came to us because they were so verbal in their math conversation this year. It was really nice to see. But we noticed that they still struggle with being able to explain their thoughts in writing, which we know is a very important skill. So this whole first quarter, we've been doing our math journals as actually a teacher rotation, and actually been using them for instruction so that the kids can learn the expectations. So we get together, we talk about the problem, we talk about good math vocabulary that might be used in their explanation, what type of visual, what type of strategies they could use, whether it's a picture or number representation. And then this quarter, Brandy and I decided that we really want to try to make it more of an independent activity, so I'm going to start doing what Laura does and use it as an independent rotation. So now that they've done it with us about 8 times, they have an idea of how to transfer that into independent work.
And at the beginning of the year, I did a similar thing where it was with me.
Right.
So.
And I have 3 different levels that I do. So I have a below grade level, on grade level, and accelerated level. So, and I did buy those on Teachers Pay Teachers, but, sometimes you have to, unfortunately, spend your own money on your resources, but it's been really helpful. I'll pass.
Another resource is for getting student things. We wrote some extra ones on here, and there's room on your capture sheet. The mailbox.com, which is that magazine that, we still have some left over, but there's a lot of resources on there. Mathaids.com and Common Core Worksheets.com, both of those were additions from the previous session, and so a couple people chimed in and said those were very useful websites. So, in addition, YouTube, I'll let Laura talk about YouTube.
I got the YouTube ideas from Brandy, of course, because she's always, researching things and finding things, but sometimes she finds really good videos for the kids that my team uses. I'll forward them to them. It's actually an engaging video for the kids to learn a particular math concept. But I know I have to use it myself to teach myself how to do some of these skills. Just a week or 2 ago, we were learning how to use Cuisinart rods and with multiplication, and nobody seemed to really know how to do it. So I went onto YouTube. I must have looked through 12 different videos. I found one that I thought was pretty good with a teacher. It was a video for teachers, not for kids. And so she modeled how she worked through it with her groups and what visuals she had. And it was really very helpful to me. So it was a good way for me to learn how to do that and maybe how to scaffold it for my different ability groups. So, and Learn Zillion as well. Learn Zillion has, I would say they're more tutorials rather than engaging, but it does have some videos for kids to learn concepts. You definitely have to watch them though, because, like I said, they can have.
And they may teach it a little bit.
Yeah, they might teach it a little differently, or it might be a little bit above their heads, so it may not always be the best choice, but it is another resource.
On YouTube, you can find, if you look for Teacher Tipster on YouTube, it's a I think 1st or 2nd grade male teacher, and he has videos for teachers also. It reminded me, I watched one on teaching fact families, and he did this really neat thing about fact families and relating it to the color wheel. Like when you add red and blue, you get purple, but you can't take, if you had purple and you took blue away, you'd have red. So it was just a way of teaching fact families using colors, which was really cool. So he has a lot of neat little videos that are teaching teachers cute little concepts and games. So that's another resource for teachers.
Did you talk about Mr. Anchor?
I didn't talk about Mr. Anchor. Is anybody familiar with Mr. Anchor? It's henryanchor.com. I think it's on the front. Oh, no, it might be on the back of your sheet. It's actually on Strawberry Knoll's website in the 2nd grade online resources because I used it in 2nd grade. And it is just a website full of tests.
Quizzes and tests. So it's not actually a game, it's just different tests and quizzes they can pick just for additional practice.
So you just go to whatever your grade is, and the kids can take whatever. And then after they take one, there's even more. So it's not just one time they're taking it. So I think further down is math. So if you just wanted to do, I don't know, counting, this one is nickels. And then the kids have to put their name in, and then they can play. You do actually have to put your name in, sorry. And then it'll let you know if you've gotten it right or wrong. And then it goes to each question. So it's a fun little engaging, I think there's 10 questions for each one, and it'll take you back to the main page, and they can pick another one. Okay. Mr. Anchor, it's henryanchors.com. It's on the sheet. Another one that we were talking about that we wanted to highlight was this one we just found yesterday, and we had a good time with it. Mr. Newsbombs.com, and this one was a really detailed website. Henry Anchors just is what it is, and you just go there and you pick it. This one we had to dig around, and there were math videos on there for kids, which was kind of neat. But I would say go and try them out first.
Yeah, we explored the one called what was it called?
Mathomorphic.
Mathomorphic. We picked it by its fun name. And so it was funny because when we were playing the game, Laura and I were very excited because our caterpillar was going to turn into a butterfly. And Carl was looking at us like we were crazy. We were actually getting excited. We're like, oh my gosh, it's really going to turn into a
But look,
butterfly.
it starts with an egg. See, it's really cute.
It's very cute for the kids.
Yeah. I know. And so he gets to, he keeps the leaves, he gets bigger and bigger. And then he turns into a chrysalis.
And then he turns into a butterfly.
He turns into a chrysalis.
Not into a cocoon. Like
right, he turns into a chrysalis and...
Right there. It's at the top branch.
Oh, I got it.
So you go back?
I went backwards to an egg if you get it wrong. So there are a lot of fun games on there. And I know that, like, say you really like this one, if you copy this link and email it to Carrie, she'll put it on your grades page, too. Which is an easy way to have your kids go there.
Just to piggyback on that, something that I've been doing in my classroom with a lot of the resources that the county gives you, especially for enrichment, is we have on the student shared folder, second grade, each of our names, and then I have a folder just called Math Challenges, even though all of them aren't challenges. And they open that up, and then we have each thing that I want them to choose from.
Oh, nice.
So you can
Sort of
just
custom.
take Mathomorphic.
Right.
And instead of letting them have the whole thing.
Right, because this website was full of really cool resources, but it's, I think, too much to send a kid to MrNewsbound.com because we were like, and so then we found some fun games on there.
Because I think the first one or two we clicked on we didn't like, so definitely explore first.
If you do that, it's a nice way to only give them that choice.
Exactly.
Website.
Exactly.
And then another one to talk about, this is a way that we differentiate, or I differentiate in the computer center in my classroom, is sumdog.com. It's a free service. You sign all your kids up in your classroom, and it gives them a username and password. So they log on with their username and password. I'll tell you, in first grade and probably for kindergarten, that log-on process is a little daunting. They have to put their username, a password which is simple, but then they have to put in the school code. Some of my kids struggle. We've been doing it about a month, but some of them have it no problem. I mean, it's not that hard, but I would say for kindergarten it would be really hard.
They'll send you an email saying, it'll say Laura Doe, Kara Jordan, and now I'm part of it, and you have to wait till we invite you for some reason. I don't know. Because at first when I got that response, I was like, what? I can be invited.
I know, I had to too. But then you go and you put your kids, and then you can go in and set each skill. And then I've changed it. So when we were doing measurement, when we were doing graphing, I removed some of the addition and subtraction skills and added in graphing skills. So when the games look the same, I mean the layout looks the same, but the games they're playing are a little different. So then I could go in and customize each skill, so for each student. So if I didn't want Brittany to have, you know, adding all the way up to 50, but I really only wanted her to practice adding to 10, I could remove all those other ones and just keep a set skill set for her. So that's a nice way to customize it, and the kids love it. You get to create your own little avatar, and you're playing against each other. So when they're all at the center, they're like, "Ooh, I see Carl. He's in the game with me," you know. Oh, it's time. This was the last one that we'll go over quickly. I think it is time for us to go. This is on my MCPS, and it is it's all the vocabulary. For this one, it's grade 1 marking period 1, and it shows you different vocabulary so that you can front load for your students. And you can get to it on my MCPS. Does anyone already know? You guys already know about this?
Searching for
Okay, so you're searching, and then it's like right there because. All right, so you have to pick a subject area. And then it's going to show up right here as soon as it
It'll
loads.
pop up under your course materials. And the nice thing we noticed,
Language and vocabulary resources.
didn't we notice yesterday that
It's a
quarter
one page for each
2,
quarter.
3,
Yep.
4,
Yeah, I
all
think
there.
they're just down below.
Yeah.
Each one.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, it's a click, click, click like it always is here, you know,
It is from
MCPS.
all subjects.
Yes.
Yes, it's a nice one page first quarter.
Yeah.
Yep.
Really nice.
It is a-
I
it's a
was
handy
not aware that was
resource.
in there, so that definitely could be helpful. 'Cause you can print out your whole,
The whole
all
year.
4 quarters.
It's a PDF and each
Yeah.
one is 4 pages. So it's, when you click on it, it's all of the grades right here. It's under course materials, but you have to pick a subject. So when you get to that landing page, we were all like, it's supposed to be here, and then as soon as you pick something, it shows up.
It doesn't matter what subject you pick, it's going to show.
I keep picking reading, but I think
Right.
it
I
picks.
think it's under
All of
all
them.
the ones I've
I
I
seen.
mean, it had art, it had music,
Yeah.
science, social studies,
That's
math,
actually an
reading.
easel
I believe it had all of them.
Yeah.
Let's double check.
And it is all together. Is it open?
Yeah.
There you
There we
go.
go.
Yes. And then as you scroll down, you'll have marking period 2,
Yeah.
marking period 3, and 4.
Oh, yeah. So there's marking
So
period
it's
2.
nice, because it is a one-sheeter, and we all
Yeah.
like things on one sheet of paper.
I know, right.
So we've gone over our time.
Right.
All right.
Again.
Thank you guys.